Hello guys, my name is Ausra and today I'm starting my own podcast, Conversations with Myself. Thinking in Sound, that's how I named my new podcast. And in this podcast I will deal with you and share with you my experience in organ performance, composition, music theory and all other things and questions which I hope you will send me. So now let's talk a little bit about myself. Well, I have background in organ performance. I have almost all possible diplomas, including doctorate. So I'm really quite experienced in my field. And recently, a few years ago, when the pandemic hit the world, I started also composing. Well, and composition is that branch which I would like to expand in my life, to work more on it and to share my experience with you on that subject. So, as long as I can remember myself, my first composition was composed when I was probably 8 years old, because I was on the second grade of elementary school. I remember I composed a Minuet, but I grew up in a sort of ordinary family. None of my parents were musicians, neither my brother. Well, so nobody really paid attention in my composition, and I think eventually I simply threw it away. Actually, the only one man for whom I showed it was a contractor who was working in our apartment at that time, and he was putting in a new floor for us. And actually, I spent nice hours with him because he was a very nice man and questioned me about things, and I would talk with him because he also had a daughter about my age. And I told him one day, I composed a Minuet, and I showed it to him. He said, wow, but I don't know what he really thought about it since he was also a non-musician. So I didn't get to know motivation from any of my family members, to develop on the subject. So I dropped it, and later on I only started to composing again at the Academy of Music when I was getting my master's degree in organ performance. The studies took 2 years, and I was really fortunate to study composition with one of the greatest living composers of Lithuania at that time, Bronius Kutavičius. But as it often happens in life, I would always say, oh no, sorry professor, I did not compose anything for today. Well, I had no inspiration and things like that. So he would just sign off and would pick up a pencil and eraser and would correct my handwriting. Also, I remember that at the beginning, during our first classes, I would try to compose something really nice, what I thought is nice, and would show it to him, and he would say, oh no, don't do that. You are composing like Olivia. And Olivia was an older student of his, also an organist, and she composed really nice compositions, sort of in a gentle romantic style, like our classical composer Juozas Naujalis. So he told me not to do that. Anyway, now maybe I'll just take a sip of water from my beautiful Secrets of Organ Playing mug. So anyway, I remember that I composed for him a short set of like a suite of short piano pieces, basic piano preludes, and we were all based on Gregorian chant. Unfortunately, I also, put the score somewhere and it disappeared. But actually, we were quite nice little pieces of music. And then I think for the end of our studies with Bronius Kutavičius, I composed vocal quartet based on Veni Creator Spiritus. And my friends organist, other students helped me to record it. We all sang it. It was a really nice experience, but I think I also forgot where I put the score and it probably disappeared. But anyway, all our colleagues, organists, were really creative in that course, and Kutavičius, told to us that we all could compete with real composition students. So we were also very proud of ourselves. But then I sort of dropped the subject because I was not required to compose anymore, and it all came back to me during pandemics because, well, Vidas was composing on a daily basis, and I thought maybe I should do something too. Plus, he always kept nagging me and pushing me and asking to compose something. So I started to do my own compositions, and so far I don't remember exactly what number of my opuses is now, but I think I have more than 40. Well, the voice behind the screen says that I have 45 opuses, so okay, thank you, Vidas. You are very supportive. So, so in these, podcasts, I'll try to share with you my experience as a composer and as an organist. And probably the last thing that I would want to tell you on this first podcast is why I'm composing for organ only, at least so far. Because organ is the instrument that I know the best. I know what works on it and what does not. And for composers, it's always a problem to find somebody who would perform your music. So basically, I think you must be able to play and to perform your own music in order to promote it, and show for others how it sounds. And maybe, in the future, I will start to compose for other instruments as well. But for now, it's organ and organ only. So I really hope that you will find these podcasts entertaining and useful. Well, I have a feedback ground from my listeners and our listeners because I'm also doing podcasts together with Vidas, my husband. And people always see that Vidas is so creative and so entertaining, and I'm sort of very realistic and pragmatic and all that kind of stuff. So let's see. If I will be too boring and too realistic, just let me know and I'll try to entertain you. So see you on my next podcast, and thank you for watching.